I did consulting for them. Got to the point where it was time to shine and do my own thing. So in 2006, I opened up my own company and never looked back. And so pool heaters use 400,000 BTUs of gas. And I know you don't know what that means, but if you...
they use a lot of gas.
They use a lot of gas. We had to saw cut the concrete,
yeah,
and then we had to trench down, and gas has to be buried the deepest. It's 18 inches above the pipe. Yeah, I loved being a soldier. It's my family, my dad, my uncles, my grandfather, my mom, everybody, military. They keep you up for 24 hours, give you 3 hours of sleep, another 23 or 24 hours. And at the end of that cycle, they tell you, look at yourself. I can use my 5 government points and my 5 veteran points, so I've got 10 preference points over everybody. It takes a long time to get into a fire department in a major metropolitan city. The fact that it changed his life and he was able to do things he thought he would never be able to do, you know, that really resonated with me. And that's what I want for all of my guys. I want my guys to enjoy life. All right, cool.
All right, Jay, Johnny here.
Johnny, great to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So you are the owner of this company. Tell me a little bit about your company and how you got started.
So I'm Jay with the Cooling and Plumbing Company. I got started in the industry back in, well, technically I did plumbing for my mom's landscaping company while I was in high school. And then I went into the military, and after the military, I got back into air conditioning. So I've been in the industry solid since 2000.
Okay.
So I've been doing air conditioning and plumbing since 2000. I built several companies here in the state. I did consulting for them. Got to the point where it was time to shine and do my own thing. So in 2006, I opened up my own company and never looked back. Yeah, you ready to take a look at it?
Love
All right.
to.
So what we're doing today is we're running a gas line for a pool heater.
Okay.
And so pool heaters use 400,000 BTUs of gas. And I know you don't know what that means, but if you...
they use a lot of gas.
They use a lot of gas in comparison to a stove, which only uses 50,000 BTUs of gas.
Gotcha.
So essentially you're using about 5 gallons of fuel per hour with a pool heater. So you can't use your typical 1/2 inch or 3/4 gas lines to do this. You got to run a 2-inch gas line.
This is your line that you're bringing in here now.
Yeah, so as you can see right here, we had to saw cut the concrete, and then we had to trench down, and gas has to be buried the deepest. It's 18 inches above the pipe. So you can see by the depth of this, it's pretty deep.
Sure.
So what we are going to do is just run this gas line through here. This black corrugated piping you see right here is we're using it for sleeving. It's a code requirement. We need to make sure that the piping is sleeved under concrete. And then if you look at the pipe, you'll actually see a tracer wire on it. And that's because the pipe is plastic. So if we ever needed to locate this pipe, we would just connect to this tracer wire right here.
Sure.
And we could locate this entire pipe. Let me take you around the backside and show you what we're doing.
Perfect.
But Arizona really doesn't care.
Sure.
Arizona only requires 4 years to become a licensed contractor. So I always encourage people, hey, you want to be a licensed contractor, come work for me.
Right.
But instead of only putting in 4 years, put in 8.
Right.
You know, put in 4 years learning the job so you truly understand the job, you know all the code requirements, and then spend the next 4 years in the office. You really need to learn how to do paperwork and payroll and you know, customer service and everything that goes in the back of it.
Sure.
You know, I've had a ton of guys go out on their own over the last 25 years, and of course they end up coming right back, Jay, this is tough.
Yeah.
You know, can you help me? Could you, could
it's
you help
one
me
thing
with
to
this?
know the technical skill of doing the work, but the business skill is a whole another thing that you need to learn.
And there is guys out there that are super, super great at what they do. Their quality is top notch. They're awesome, but they don't want to deal with people.
Sure.
You know, or they don't have good customer service, or it's vice versa.
Starting, running, and operating a successful business, what would you say to your younger self if you could go back to when you first started? What type of advice would you give to yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a tough one. Just do it better and faster. You know, I mean, thinking I've done everything the way I wanted to do it. I've built my company on my name, on my quality. We're the best rated plumbing contractor and HVAC contractor in the state. Nothing but 5-star reviews. We win at least 2 awards every year, which is amazing. You know, no other company does. So I would tell myself to keep that up. You know, just keep producing, keep being the best you can, and show the world that there's better.
Yeah, and what's been like the largest challenge for you as you've grown your business? What have been some, obviously there's multiple challenges, but what would you say?
Our biggest is employees.
Yeah,
our biggest is employees. So, you know, I'm built on honor, integrity. This is my parents, you know. My dad was the kind of guy that if you shook his hand, the job got done.
Sure.
You know, and so that's how I grew my business. Yeah, I loved being a soldier. It's my family, my dad, my uncles, my grandfather, my mom, everybody, military. So it was a very big thing, an honorable thing for me to serve. And when I got out of the military, I wanted to find something that still made me feel like a soldier, like a hero. And so doing air conditioning and plumbing, I feel like a hero. I don't take advantage of people. I give them a good, fair, honest price. But these people have a serious issue, and I can come in and I can solve that issue right now, and I can get them back in their home, which is their
Sure. In terms of your military experience, maybe the greatest lesson that you learned in the military.
Oh, there's lots.
Right.
There's lots. So one of the most important things I learned when we were in the military is, at first they tire you down. They keep you up for 24 hours, give you 3 hours of sleep, another 23 or 24 hours. And at the end of that cycle, they tell you, look at yourself. You're beat down, you're tired, you're complaining, you're being a little crybaby. But this is your body letting you know you still have 60% left. And a lot of guys just and cry and pout. Right. And I was like, 60%, I was like, okay.
I'm doing pretty good. I got energy.
I can do this. And it really showed me that I can push forward. And that was the lesson they wanted to learn. I picked that lesson up, and some guys didn't pick that lesson up.
I see.
So that lesson drives me to continue. So even when I'm exhausted, tired, it's like, I got more in me.
You just QRF is and how you apply it to your business.
Absolutely. So QRF is quick reactionary force. And a lot of companies in our industry think bigger is better. It's the same thing with water heaters. Let's get the biggest water heater we can. Why?
Sure.
Let's go with a tankless. It's way better. Same thing with air conditioning. Let's have bigger air conditioning systems. Why? They draw a lot of power. Let's get the smaller systems, the inverters, the things that don't pull a lot of juice. Let's do energy efficiency. So I do that same application for my business. So instead of running these big, huge vehicles, what I do is I just run standard traditional vans. And the vans are decked out with everything we need to do 90% of service in a person's home. Where we specialize is I have 11 trailers. And I'm working on building 2 more. So every single trailer is geared to do something specific. Like the trailer I was standing, that's a gas trailer. I can plumb 3 houses out of that trailer.
Wow.
So yeah, exactly.
Totally.
So whether it's inside gas, outside gas, no problem. Every type of gas possible.
What's your why?
Good question. I think it would probably be because being a soldier meant everything to me. I loved being a soldier. When I got out of the Army, I wanted to find something that allowed me to be a hero for people. I originally went in, I wanted to be a firefighter. But of course, the recruiters tell you the story to get you into whatever. So they got me into, they got me into EOD, which is explosives. And you work hand in hand with the fire department and you just transfer over. Well, it's not the case.
Right.
When you're in the military, you're stuck. So I did my 4 years and I got out and I wanted to do something, and I still loved firefighting, but the realization of it is there's like 5,000 to 10,000 people, trying to be a firefighter. I can use my 5 government points and my 5 veteran points, so I've got 10 preference points over everybody. It takes a long time to get into a fire department in a major metropolitan city. And I'd done plumbing before, and I just decided that I'm going to go back to it. So I got back into air conditioning and plumbing, and I feel good because people have an issue. They need help. They're stressed out. This is their home, they're zen, and it's all out of balance. And they just call me, and I've had so many customers like, Jay, you're just so calming. Like, I'll call you because just talking to you walks me off the ledge.
Right.
I'll come in their house. I tell them, hey, no problem. Here's the issue. This is what it costs, flat rate, and get their problem resolved. And they're great. They're happy. And so every day I'm helping people, but it still allows me to feed my family and the families of my employees.
So what would you say to someone that has a dream of their own and is maybe lacking that courage to go for it?
Live your dream, because we only get one chance at life and we never know when we're going to perish. And I've always told my daughter, she's the love of my life, I've told her, I don't care if you're a stay-home mom or the president of the United States, do what you love. So if there's something you want to do out there, the best thing you can do is shadow somebody. And in our world, you can just become an apprentice, so get out there and work for a good company and put in a year or 2, go through summer, go through winter, Make sure this is where you want to be. And if you are, great, rock it. If you don't, no harm, no foul. You can move on to something else. If you want to extend your education, that's when I would suggest schooling, because now you have a baseline to build on, a foundation. And when you go into schooling, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's so much easier to understand the applied sciences, the codes, all of those really important things that you're going to miss.
Take us to the time where you almost did quit, or there was a challenge that came up that was pretty difficult and you were really considering at least pivoting, changing directions, or quitting.
Challenges never. Like, I'm the kind of guy, you give me a challenge, I'm going to destroy it. That's just who I am. So there's never really been a challenge in my life that just set me back. But there has been times where I've been like tired. You know, I'm just like, I've been doing this day in, day out, especially after summer, you know, doing air conditioning, plumbing, and gas piping from May to October. It gets pretty brutal.
Yeah.
You know, so there's been times like, I wouldn't mind doing something else. I had actually, years back, I had applied to become a federal police officer on the Indian reservation with all my military credentials. Yeah. So I got the job, I got approved, and I got approved to go to the academy. And I started to think about it, you know, and after talking to the guys and the captain, you know, I'm going to make mediocre money. I'm going to have to put in a crap ton of overhead, or overtime, I'm sorry, just to make a little bit more. You're going to start on third shift, which is, you know, night. Always sucks. That's when the crazies are out,
right.
You know. But then I started to think about it. I'm like, I'm a dad, and I loved raising my daughter and being there for her and doing school functions and all that good jazz. So I had to make a choice, you know, and that was a tough one, because I was like, I'm tired. I want to do something new. You know, this isn't that challenging to me anymore. But after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm great at what I do. People love me.
Sure.
You know,
family's important.
Yeah.
Those moments with your kids.
Yeah.
Those
And
are important.
that's what I wanted. So I'm like, you know what? Hunker down, get in the trench, take those grenades, and keep pushing forward.
Sure.
You know, so that's what I did. And over time, I found that passion and that love for it again, which I feel is really important, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and what does the future look like for your business?
Growth, but just growth in a good manner. We're not a sales company like I was telling you off camera earlier. We're a service company. So I want to give people honesty and integrity and the best in everything. And I really want to take on more employees. You know, I want to help more families have a better life. You know, you and I were speaking off camera about a employee I had for 18 years. He'd worked with me for 18 years, 2 different companies that I consulted and built, and then also for my own. And he had passed away from cancer. But the most important thing I took from that is he was so thankful of the opportunity that I gave him, and the fact that it changed his life, and he was able to do things he thought he would never be able to do. You know, that really resonated with me. And that's what I want for all of my guys. I want my guys to enjoy life, or women, you know, if they want to get into the industry.
Sure.
We've actually had quite a few. And a lot of times it's really great, because when women tell other women their house is dirty, you know, they take it a little easier than if a man does, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I want my family, my employees, to have a better life. I want them to be able to do things with their children. You know, I want them to own a home and own cars and have something for retirement. You know?
Right. Yeah, it sure seems like in order to have fulfillment in life, you really have to be helping others in order to have actual fulfillment.
Yeah. And I think that's, you know, an underlying hero. Like, I'm not a glory hound. I'm not looking to be a glory hound. I loved being a soldier, and I feel it's heroic, you know, and to help people, I think those are the true heroes.
Sure.
You know, and I help people on a daily basis. We do a lot of donations, especially for veterans. We do a lot of donations in the wintertime for charities that we love. So we're constantly doing things like that, but I just feel like those are heroes. You know, heroes are people that help people and don't ask for something in return.
Right.